Hello and welcome everybody once again to Outdoor Analytics. Adam Kilgore here, and today I thought I'd provide a review on one of the new 2018 sights that just recently hit the market. Now the sight you see here is the Trophy Ridge React Alpha, and I'm going to do this review in three parts. I'm going to quickly explain the history of the React sights from Trophy Ridge, do a quick unboxing, and then I'm going to bring the camera in, kind of show you the features close up of this sight. And then the third part will be after I mount this to the bow, level it up, and do some shooting with it, and then let everybody know what my thought and analysis is of this sight, and if the features do work as advertised. So to begin, Trophy Ridge for several years now has had a line of sights in their React series. And right about the time Trophy Ridge's sister company, Bear, started really upgrading their bow technology, think of the motives, the arenas, the agendas, those type of bows, their sister company here, Trophy Ridge, started producing higher quality sights. Now these sights, specifically the React series of sights, first started as a 5-pin polymer or plastic housing sight. The concept on the Trophy Ridge React is fairly simple to explain. That what it is you take two known distances, usually your 20 and your 40, or maybe a 20 and 30 or 30 and 50 sight pin, but two known distances, and based off the distance between those points, you calculate, or the sight does the calculation on the drop for the rest of your pins based on a worm drive. So what this means in practical terms is that you sight in your 20-yard pin, you sight in your 30-yard pin, and there, from that point on, the rest of your pins are sighted in. On the React sight, it was a 5-pin sight, so from that point, your 20 to 60 would be sighted in. And it would be done so in a method using mathematical drop that is more precise, at least on paper, it's more precise than what the human person could calculate out that to be, or to fine-tune that sight to be. Now the first Trophy Ridge sight, like I said, was a 5-pin in a plastic. A year or two later they came out with the React Pro, which was a 5-pin all metal housing sight that had second and third level axis features on that sight, and that's kind of when I really started taking note of these sights. I liked the concept of the calculating the arrow velocity, or the arrow drop based on velocity, but it wasn't until they really upgraded that sight housing to an aluminum sight that really caught my attention and made me want to shoot the sight. So from there, Trophy Ridge has branched out in the last few years, and they made the React Pro, which is the metal version, and they went into the React 1 Pro, which is a one single pin sight using the same technology, and it calculates using 2 points of reference, say a 20 and a 40-yard pin setting, all the way out to 100 yards. They've also gone back to a better upgraded polymer for a lighter weight, lower cost option on some of theirs, and as well as a 3-pin sight, their Trio Pro sight. This year they came out with a couple different variations on the React technology as well. One is a 4-pin polymer based sight, polymer framed sight, and that sight with the 4 pins allows people that are shooting quite a bit slower bows, either due to lower draw weight or higher arrow weight, but lower speed arrows, they can take advantage of that React technology because it only has 4 pins to stretch out through the sight housing. The other sight they came out with, the Trophy Ridge came out with, is this sight right here, and this is the React Alpha. Now the React Alpha is very similar to the React 1 Pro. And here I'll start the unboxing here. So in the box it comes the nice hard box, or a hard package, plastic package, and the sight is as follows. The first thing you'll notice on this sight is one that doesn't come off, that it is mounted on the back. There's a sight, a piece of cardboard here mounted on the back that holds the sight tapes for this sight, and then underneath that, try not to break all the plastic, underneath that is 2 Allen screws, the same screws that hold the sight to your bow, is what holds it on here to the package. So I'll get that unscrewed and taken off so we can do a close-up here. I guess the main selling point on this sight, one, is that it is more compact, and I'll get to this on the close-up a little better, more compact than the original One Pro, and it has a new pin setup, which again I'll get here in a minute up close. So with that, I'm going to end this part of it. I'll cut to a close-up of this sight where you can kind of see the features and I can describe it a little bit better. And then, like I said, once again, the third part will be after this sight is mounted to a bow and after I've had some time to really stretch it out distance a little bit and see what this sight is capable of. So stick with me, and we'll get to the close-ups. All right, well, we're back for the second part of this review. The sight has been unboxed, and I will go over some of the key features of this sight and what makes it different from the React One Pro. So starting off, once you get the sight out of the box, you'll see what it comes with here. It comes with the two Allen screws that were keeping it inside the package. Those are what mounts the sight to your bow itself, and it comes with two different types of sight tapes, which I'll get into in just a moment. So this sight is a 0.19 pin sight, and the first thing you're going to notice when you pick this sight up and look through it is the inverted V or triangle pin housing inside there. So here it is with maybe make it a little lighter with the light, but it looks like this down here is what it looks like when you're looking through the sight housing. And I'm anxious to try this out. That's kind of a unique feature. If you look at a lot of the tactical optics out there on the market today, they feature a similar inverted V, and the concept is to draw your eye to the target wherever that V is pointed at. That's where the eye will naturally go, which helps with quicker target acquisition, at least on theory and in tests in combat optics. So we'll see if that translates over to bow sights as well. The other thing you'll notice when you first get this sight, and especially those that have seen the React One Pros before, is that this sight is set up, unlike the React One Pros, this sight is set up from 20 to 60, or you can set it up other yardages, but by default it's a 20 to 60 yard pin setting, meaning you measure, you sight in with the gang adjustments at 20 and 30 or 20 and 40, and you will be on from 20 to 60 here. Unlike the React One Pro, which has a much larger pin indicator, obviously because it has to go from 20 to 100. This one is different. It's more compact. I think it'll be more user-friendly, not user-friendly, but it'll be more robust in a hunting situation. What is one difference, and I'm not sure if I like this or not yet, on the React One Pro, there's a clear piece of plastic here that houses the fiber optics for each of these pin settings, or each of these distance settings. And each of these are fiber optics, and they glow really well in the dim light. These are not fiber optics, these are just painted on sight indicators. So if you're one that didn't use the tapes as much and relied on just knowing how those bright colored pins were, yardage indicators, that is different. So I'll definitely this time, in the past I didn't always use the included tapes, instead relying on those yardage indicators, but in this case I definitely will use those included tapes. And speaking of those tapes, they come in two different forms. You have the bold, bright 10-yard increments, 20, 30, 40, or however you decide to set it up, white, red, and yellow, so bright. And then you have the more precise, down to the exact yardage tapes that come with it as well, so you can dial in 59 or 42 to the exact yard and beyond. Now, because this sight is more compact, a little more robust, a little tougher, I think at least, than the One Pro, I'm going to be using these bolder, easier to see 10-yard increments. And for a hunting sight, which is what I'm tending to use this sight for, then I'll easily be able to see those sights as, or those yardages as 20, 30, 40, and if it's, say, a shot at 45, between 40 and 50, I can quickly dial it in between 40 and 50 halfway, and I know I'm going to be on within an inch or two, which is where I need to be, or what I want in a hunting setup versus a target setup, where with a hunting setup I'm more worried about getting it very close very quickly than taking that extra time to dial it down to the yard. So here it is, I guess the overall explanation of this sight. The length and the second and third level axis adjustments are all on here, similar to the Trophy 1 Pro. It dials the same way, so this pin here loosens your adjustment knob, and then you can go up and down with it after that, depending on the yardage. And then there's one more key thing I think I need to point out. This comes with a sight light similar to all the React 1 Pros and all the React Pros actually. But what I noticed about this sight, this particular one, is that once I remove it here, once it comes in the package, you will want to untake this obviously part off. But in the sight itself, so in this sight itself, there are the batteries housed here, and it splits apart and unscrews right here in the middle. Now when you first get this, it ships with a piece of cardboard, small piece of cardboard mounted behind the batteries, and I'm sure that's to keep it from accidentally turning on while shipping. So when I first got this and tried to turn it on, the sight wouldn't turn on, and I thought either it shipped with dead batteries or it wasn't working. It took me a minute to actually pull it apart and pull that piece out, which is what you'll definitely want to do to get the sight light to work the way it should. It's a fairly high quality sight light for what it is. It's not top of the line, but it definitely works, and it will definitely illuminate the pin. This is a .119 pin, so let me get this light on and kind of you can kind of see if I can get it here and bring it up in lower light. So it definitely lights up well. So there it is. That's the 1 Alpha, Trophy Ridge React Alpha, I should say. And we'll get it mounted to the bow. We'll do some shooting with it, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and analysis on how it is. So here we are for the final part of the bow sight review on the Trophy Ridge React Alpha. I got the sight out of the box, unboxed, and mounted on a bow. In this case, it's the Realm X. And with some quick gang adjustments up here, I got the 20 yards sighted in, and then I used the dial to dial it down to 40, just like you would on any single pin sight. And at 40 yards, I had to make a very, very small adjustment here to get the 40-yard pin on. If you're familiar with any of the other Trophy Ridge React sights, it's set up the exact same way. And as a point of reference, my arrows for the last several bows I've owned have all been going from 275 to 290 feet per second. This particular bow, the arrows are going at 286, 287 feet per second. And at that speed, I needed to make a very, very small adjustment to the sight, and it was dead on at 40. So on at 20, on at 40. The next thing I did was dial it down to 60. Stepped out to 60 yards and shot a group there, and it was impressively on, just as advertised. The same experiences I've had with the other React series of sights, and this thing was right on. Now the way I have it set up, it is on from 20 to 60. There is some room at the bottom of that, so I dialed it down all the way to see where it'd go, and it was right on at about 68 yards at completely bottomed out is where I was on at. So that gives you, almost an additional 10 yards. Just depends on your bow speed. So the main thing I wanted to test with this bow when I bought, or this sight, when I unboxed it and bought it, was that I wanted to see if the inverted V feature of the pin worked as advertised. And earlier in the review I showed you some of that pin, but here I'll show it again. And as you can see, the concept of this pin is to quickly get your eye on target and point to where that inverted V is at. much the same way as some of the tactical optics are that you now see popular on most ARs or tactical rifles. What I found is that it does indeed work as advertised. On yardages from 20 to 50 yards, it really allowed me to quickly get on target fast, which I think is an underappreciated value in a hunting sight. Now, since this sight does not extend out as far as the Trophy Ridge React 1 Pro, you have to decide for yourself which is more important. If you really want to practice at that 80 to 100 yard range, then this is not the sight for you. The React 1 Pro is. That sight, between these two sights, that sight will really stretch that yardage out and allow you to practice at distance. If you're more concerned about quickly getting on target at common hunting ranges, 20 to 50 yards, then this sight offers you that aspect with this unique V-pin, and I think a little more compact than the React 1 Pro. So both good sights. One great thing about Trophy Ridge is that you can usually find these far below MSRP. So they actually come in when you find them on the shelves or find them online. You can usually get a pretty good deal, which makes it a pretty good value. So there it is overall, the Trophy Ridge React Alpha for 2018. I recommend you go out and check these out and take a look if you like. So thank you.